What's good, everybody? It's Joel, and I come back at y'all with another video. So for this video, this one is gonna be a super powerful one. Um, it's just been on my mind this whole morning, and I feel like I have to make this video to let it out. And this one is gonna be titled "Protect Your Dream at All Costs." So I remember about it. I want to think about it. It's about a year ago. No, about like maybe 2 years ago or so. I remember I took a trip with friends to Los Angeles. So I'm based in the East Coast. I'm from New York City, and we took about a weekend trip, a couple days to Los Angeles to visit a friend, and obviously to go explore the area because we've never been to the West Coast, let alone L.A. And I remember, we did a lot of things there. We checked downtown. We checked Hollywood. We went through Rodeo Drive, and I remember my friends wanted to pass by there and also go through Beverly Hills because on Beverly Hills there's like those famous palm trees that you see like a lot of Instagram pictures that they get taken. Um, and I remember while we were taking the photos, obviously I was looking around like in amazement that this street, like this area, this is where I've seen it so many times in pictures, but then to be there in person, obviously you like look back at all the photos. And I remember while we were there, I was looking around at like all the houses on the street because, of course, like these were where all the mansions were at. And I remember right by where we parked the car and taking a photo, there was a house that stood out to me, and I'm just looking at it like, wow, like this house looks absolutely amazing, gorgeous. And for me, I really like modern houses, like the ones that look super sleek. Um, like they could be like black on the outside but have a lot of like windows with natural lighting, and just what a futuristic modern house looks like compared to just like the standard like wooden houses that exist. So for me, I gravitate towards those styles of design. So I remember going to the front of the property, and of course they have like a tall gate, so it's gated. So I remember being in the front, and I'm just like in awe with the house. Like I'm just staring at the house, and I'm just hopping up and down, peeking over the fences. So my friends are yelling at me like, "Hey, like move away from the house. Like you don't want to get in trouble. Like they're gonna call the cops on you or something." Obviously, I wasn't on the property, but it was just so funny because I was on the sidewalk, but I kept jumping in place to like look over the fence just to see like what the front looked like and to see like the inside. And so I remember I got the address to the place and I pulled it up on my phone, and I was seeing all the pictures of the inside of the house. And to me, it just gave me flashbacks of back when I was in college, where me and my fraternity brothers, we all lived together in a house off campus, and it was so much fun because we used to be able to throw our own parties and get-togethers, and we would barbecue in the back and have friends over, and it was just a time where it was just so much joy, happiness, and love. Like it was a safe space for everyone. And looking at that house, looking at how it had, you know, open kitchen concept with marble like tiles and marble counter and floor to ceiling windows and the big pool in the back. They had a hot tub jacuzzi somewhere, like open living room concept, a movie room, right? I just was looking at those pictures and the videos of the house, and to me, I told myself like I gotta have this one, right? And it was just so much fun because I just imagined myself being in there. Like I just imagined having a safe space like that where I can just invite all my friends and family, and we can barbecue, we can just throw birthday parties, we can just spend time together in the holidays, we can just do so much and have it be like a safe and loving space for everyone. And every time I think of that house, it takes me back to the memories in college, and allows me to think of all of the things that I would love to do with that space. And it just brings so much joy and excitement. As of course you can tell that I'm glowing up as I speak about this. And so for me, that's how I think of that memory of that house that I came across, right? And I still have it saved on my phone. As in the future, I would love to have that be a place where um I don't see myself living in the West Coast, but to have it as like a getaway destination where if let's just say we want to have a 1 month getaway, we can just go there and just have so much fun. And whenever we feel time where we want to just go back to the East Coast and return to how things are, we can do that. And when I think about the house, when I talk about it, it just brings me so much joy because I just get so eager knowing that I have a blast having that property. And so I'm sure you can tell by my face that it just got me excited, and I look forward to that. However, I know a lot of people when they have their homes, like if you're someone like me who've looked into houses, right, who've checked online, may probably you've seen videos of the property that you want. You probably have the address written down, and it just brings you so much joy thinking about having the property. And after you've been smiling for so long, after you found it or you've just gone through looking at everything, the next thought that comes to your mind is, oh well, I'll never be able to afford it. And then instantly right there, you just end the dream. And for me, that's just strange, and it just puts me at a loss of words, because for people who do that, right, that they can have a dream as far as like where they want to live, instead of being their number one supporter, right, your number one cheerleader, because this body that you have, like, you'll always have yourself, right, like this body's a rental, right, you'll be here for so much time. And because you'll only have yourself, you're supposed to be your number one supporter in all things. But for some reason, a lot of people are their worst enemy, right? Like they can have a dream and then instantly they'll kill it because they'll try to find some sort of logical reason for whether it can or can't unfold. And for a lot of us, right, if we have a dream, sometimes it can feel so big that we instantly look for reason as far as why it can't happen, right? You can have a dream home, a place that you really want, and then you'll instantly say, oh well, yeah, I can't afford that, oh, I'll never have the money for that. You look at the price tag and then immediately it shoots it down, right? You can just fall in love with the dream. You see the numbers on the screen and then instantly, like, your face just changes, right? You just go from complete excitement and joy to just despair, believing that it will never happen. And I'm here to tell you that that's the most ridiculous thing ever, right? Because the priority is to protect the dreams, because the joy of this life is to want some things, right? To have dreams, desires, and not know how they're going to unfold for you, because the joy is going through the motions, enjoying the journey of life, and allowing it to unfold in your life, so that when it does unfold, you'll be able to look back and smile and laugh, because then you'll be able to see how it unfolded for you, right? To say, oh, I want this dream house, but I'll never have the money for it. It's not possible. Like, it just won't. To say that is ridiculous, because that's like me saying, me right now, I'm in my 20s, I'm single, right? That's like saying, I'm single, I've never been engaged before, I've never been married, therefore I'll never be engaged and I'll never be married. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds insane, right? If you're my friend, you'll probably slap me and say, listen, like, that's crazy talk. Because I know it is, right? Like, my partner right now, wherever they are, they're walking this earth as we speak. I may or may not know them, right? Like, it's very possible that I could have, like, met them, that we could be friends right now. I don't know. It's entirely possible, right? I don't know. But I do know that when the time is ready, when the time comes, it'll be obvious who that person is, right? Like, if we're in the same room together, they'll stick out like a sore thumb. It'll be so blatantly obvious, because you'll essentially feel like a force pulling you towards that person. So that's why I don't have to worry about it, right? Like, I don't have to concern myself with it, because I know it's inevitable to happen. And when it does happen, I'll know it. So until then, I don't have to worry, because when the time comes, it'll be apparent, it'll be obvious, right? If you know something is going to unfold for you, you're not going to be worried, you're not going to be frustrated, you're not going to be impatient, right? Because you know that when it's supposed to come, it's going to come at the right time. And that's the same with the dream property. That's the same with dreams in general. But for this case, right, I want to talk about like your dream home, just because I'm sure that's relatable for a lot of people. You don't have to know how. You don't have to have a logical reason for how it's going to unfold for you, because even though we're all bright and intelligent people, we're not that smart, right? We're not smart enough to do God's work, to do the universe's work. The universe is going to move people, events, circumstances, all these things in alignment to whatever it is that you want, in order for that want to be delivered to you, right? And you don't ever need to know how. And there's no way for you to ever know how, because the only way you'll know how is after it's already delivered to you, where you can look back in time and be amused to see how it was delivered to you, right? Here's an example. I want to bring up two examples for this, just to give you guys some, I guess, insight on this. And for this one, this is one of my good friends. He's a few years older than me, and he's married, and he's been married for, I want to say, maybe like 2 years or so. And it's funny because I remember I spoke to him and I asked him, how is it that you found your partner? And he laughs about it every time he tells a story, because the night he met his, future spouse, of course, the night he met his partner, it was literally, it was raining cats and dogs outside. Like, it was pouring. And so he was at home and he had no interest in going out, but his friends wanted to go out, and they had their mind made up that they wanted to go out. So they literally like dragged him out of his apartment to take him out and go out. And he said that night he went out was when he met, the woman that would eventually become his spouse. And he laughs about it every time, because obviously it was the most unexpected event ever, right? Like, this was a night where he didn't even want to step out of his house, and he got pulled by his friends to go. And then that's how it unfolded for him. So, of course, when I asked him, do you regret going out that night? He always cracks up and say, like, of course not, right? Like, that, like, he was supposed to go out that night. Like, that night was a pivotal moment in his life, because that night delivered him his spouse. So it's one of the cases where you don't know how things are going to unfold for you, right? You can only look back in time when it's already delivered, to then look back and be amused as to how it all was delivered to you, right? If I bring up another example, and this example comes from another YouTuber. He this man is a grown man. He has like his own family. I'm sorry that I don't remember like the name. Like, I watched this video a couple months ago, and honestly, I was just so inspired. Like, he mentioned the story of how when he was a child, right? Like, this content creator who's a family man, when that person was a child, how his father manifested a house. And he was saying that when he was a kid, they lived in an apartment, and essentially his father, hardworking man, but he could only save up so much money, every time he got paid, and they never quite had enough money to get a house, like, of course, the house that they always wanted, because he wanted to raise his family in a house. And he knew this, the wife knew this. However, one day he comes home, mind you, he lives in an apartment. He goes shopping, and then he comes home with a lawnmower. And so he tells the wife, hey, look, honey, I bought a lawnmower. So she's confused. She's like, well, why would you get a lawnmower? We live in an apartment. We don't need that. And he goes, okay. He's like, no worries, honey. We just have the lawnmower for our house that we're going to get. The house that I keep talking about, yeah, we'll get that soon. We'll get that at some point. But I just wanted to get the lawnmower in preparation of the house that we're going to have. So she's confused and also frustrated, because if you're in an apartment, the lawnmower is going to collect dust, and you already don't have enough space as it is. And you're also, according to the wife, wasting money on a lawnmower because you're not going to use it, and there's no guarantee that we're going to get a house, and we don't have enough money to get a house. So despite the wife bringing up all the logical reasons as far as why it wouldn't happen, the husband still kept faith. He believed that it would happen. He didn't know how. He didn't know the circumstances that was going to unfold for him to somehow bring it, but he just felt it deep inside his fiber, in his core, that somehow, some way, he was going to get the house. So fast forward some time, it may have been like a couple weeks or a few months. He's just on a walk, like just walking through the neighborhood. He's some distance away from his home, but he's just taking like a long walk around. And while he's walking around, he sees a man who's doing, I guess, gardening work, or he's doing some sort of work for his house, and he's carrying heavy things. So he goes to offer, the older man some help. Say, hey, I can help you with some of that. So the older man, respectfully declines and says, it's fine. But the father insists, he's like, hey, I'm just going for a walk. Like I don't have anything going on. Like it looks like heavy stuff. Like let me lend you a hand. So the older man agrees, the elder, and essentially they begin talking. They get to know each other because of course they never knew each other prior. So the older man basically tells the father, um, this house that we're living in, we're trying to sell it because we're getting older now and we want to retire and we want to move to Florida. Say this is, I don't remember the state. Say this is like New Jersey, right? Guy goes, we're selling the house, and we want to retire off in Florida. We want to sell this house. We have it at this price, which is market value. But for us, is less about the money. For us, we want to sell this property to a family that's going to raise their children, because we grew up in this house. Like we've lived in this house our whole lives and raised our kids in this house, and we want to pass this house along to a good family that's also going to keep that same tradition going of raising their family here. Like we want this house to remain a family house for essentially a new family. And that was the light bulb moment for the father, because the father was honest with the older man and say, hey, listen, like we have some money saved up, but we don't have nowhere near enough as far as how much this house would actually go for and sell for. But I've always wanted a house to raise my family in, and this is something that I've always wanted. So fast forward a little bit, and basically the elderly couple decided to sell their house to that family at a much greater discount, well below market value, and they help assisted them with the payments and everything to essentially help that family move in and begin their lives in that new home. And that ended up being the home that the YouTuber, when back when he was a kid, right, that he was raised in for his whole childhood. So I heard that story, and it put such a big smile on my face, because that story is exactly how life is, and the universe and everything around us, that everything is all connected to each other. And I know that going through like the education system, us growing up, getting older, that when we were put through when we were navigating through life, right, we were always looking for logic and reason. Like there always needed to be some sort of logic, some sort of reason to explain certain things. And if it wasn't, right, that there's no answer. And that's not how life works, right? There's so many instances where there isn't logic, or there isn't a reason to explain why certain things will happen, but it's just the power of faith and belief and a knowingness that something is going to unfold for you, right? Even if there's no evidence that it will, or better yet, that there's counter evidence that is going against what you actually believe will happen, right? Your dream, that it can still unfold for you, that as long as you have that belief and faith, that it can still happen. And it sounds crazy, but it is, right? Just as how, if you're single right now, if you've never been engaged or never been married, it would sound crazy for you to believe that it will never happen. The only reason why it won't happen, or may never happen, is if you keep putting out that energy saying, oh, well, I'll never get married, I'll never get engaged, I'll never find a partner. Well, then yeah, because you're speaking it into existence, right? If you believe that it will happen, if you believe that it's going to unfold for you, there's no reason for you to be worried or concerned, right? You can be at peace knowing that it's inevitable for it to happen. So this is why when people have dreams, right, I see that a lot of times they're their own worst enemy, and they would kill off the dream because they don't have they can't find the reason for why it'll happen. And so because of that, it's like they write it on a piece of paper and you're basically scrapping it and just throwing it away. Like, why? You're supposed to be your number one supporter. You're supposed to believe, like if you believe in a dream, if you believe in something worthy that you believe would make your life more enjoyable, better, like would just bring you more joy, why are you throwing that away just because right now you don't have a reason or an explanation for why? Like, so what? So what? So I hope this video has been as meaningful to you as it's been to me making it, because my dreams are important, right? Like I want to live an exciting, fulfilling, joyful life, and I also want to, give the same to my family, and also inspire the next generation and wave of people that's, also going to be confident and have faith and belief in themselves, and believe that this is a beautiful place, a beautiful time to be alive, that the opportunities have never been better, and that whatever it is that you want, and whatever it is that you desire, that you don't owe anyone an explanation for, that all you have to do is just hold that picture, hold that idea, keep that, front and center, and just be excited and grateful that you did have the idea, that you did have that desire, and that is inevitable for it to unfold for you, right? You are living a great life, and your life will get even better and better, and it'll be a magical experience. So hopefully this video means the world to you as it meant the world to me to make this one for you guys. So you enjoyed this video, do leave a like, subscribe, comment down below any thoughts you may have. Do turn on post notifications and share this video with anyone who you think will benefit from this. This is Joel, and I'm out. See you guys next time. Peace.